Welcome back, Officers Republic. It's your course on Honorable Police Chief APGAINS. Another episode of APGAINS at night. It's just APGAINS, but it is indeed, wait for it, harder to see me. Bane is up, so I guess that we're just forced to talk about him right now. The topic of this video is, yes, about Bane and about Sith Eternal Emperor, but it's more broad than that. It's more about when should you stop investing in certain teams? When do you get diminishing returns as a poor person? Sorry. I've just accepted the fact that I say poor person now instead of free to play because we must embrace it, everyone. It's not necessarily that we can't. It's that we shouldn't. Okay, so Bane is coming, and if you have over 4 million galactic power and you do really well in Conquest, you can get him in 3 months, or you can get him in 6 months like me because I'm a lazy piece of shit and I don't have C. What Bane is going to help more early game players realize is there is this drastic diminishing returns at the various stepping stones of your journey to build your roster. What I mean by that is I frequently get asked, especially by when I do podcasts and stuff, by other streamers who are big endgame high spenders, they always ask me why I don't have R8 or R9 on my Galactic Legends and a lot of other stuff, especially with ships and pilots and all that mumbo jumbo. At a certain point in pretty much everything, you get diminishing returns. In the case of Galactic Legends, well, in the case of almost anything, what I think about when I apply a meaningful upgrade to any team is, does this do which one of these two things does it do? Or I guess 3 things. The first and the worst is it does absolutely nothing and doesn't affect me at all. If that's the case, you should not be applying that upgrade. There are certain Zetas that are like that. There are certain characters that you'll never use that are like that. Those are pretty commonly identified by people, and I don't think I really need to go into that. The second is it going to make a counter that I already have down easier, more predictable, better banners if I'm in an efficiency fight? Is there going to be some small incremental improvement? A good example of this is the CLS team, I guess, is a great example. CLS in the very early game counters almost everything. It really fucks shit up. It punches up way above its weight. As you start to invest into the higher and higher, let me actually just pull my CLS squad. As you start to invest higher and higher into your CLS squad, you can completely shut down teams like the Bad Batch to get max banners. You can increase the number, or I guess the comfortability of countering gas and stuff like that. But at a certain point, adding R7 to Han Solo or R7 to C-3PO wouldn't really do anything. But taking these characters to R8 or R9, that's kind of a category 2. It's going to make counters a little bit easier, but it's not really going to do much of anything else after that. And category 3 is rare, and that's why you don't see a lot of really high relic levels on a lot of my characters. But category 3 is it unlocks new counters for you. One that I don't do much of anymore because it just never really comes across that way in my GACs these days with the big beefy boys that I end up fighting was Jedi Knight Luke to R8 to get extra offense, because there was this weird, fun, little nifty get swifty time where you were running a lot of Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke, Old Ben, super fast Hoda, all that nonsense, and killing SLKRs. I've climbed up to the point where I haven't seen an SLKR on defense in 3 years or something. It's not been that long. It's been more 18 months. But that was an example of I was unlocking a whole new counter by, yes, taking couple characters that I probably shouldn't have brought up to high enough relics otherwise, like Old Ben and stuff like that, increasing the mod quality on those teams, but also increasing to Relic 8 on Jedi Knight Luke, because it was a category 3. It was unlocking a new counter for me. Now, that being said, I think Bane, I don't even know if he's in the game. Let's actually find out for the first time. Is his character model in the game? It is not. So I guess we're just going to stare at Sith Eternal Emperor for now. Maybe do a couple of spins. Woot woot. I think Bane is going to be the character equivalent of the Zetas, the Omicrons, the relics that we just finished talking about for the category 1, 2, 3. And obviously we're not going to know until he comes out and we get testing. But I think he's going to be a category 2.5. What I mean by that is I think for C, yes, it's going to make counters that C can already do more comfortable. I think we all can kind of accept that. I think he's trending from the kit in the direction of this will add new counters to C. And I think what's really going to be the most valuable part of Bane is being able to take Watt off for, I mean, a lot of this is really, I hate to say this is going to apply mostly to endgame players. Taking Watt off and putting him, you don't really use Trench in GAC, but Trench or somewhere else where he's useful. Taking armor off and putting it with the new Bo-Katan when all the endgame players unlock that. And I think for newer players, not newer players, but lower GP players, like, I don't know. Like, let's just pretend I had Sith Eternal Emperor right now. Like, just imagine he, poof, goes into the account and he's there. I have Watt at R7, and I don't think I have a Relic armor, but imagine I had, like, a Relic 5 armor. I'm not really going for Bo-Katan. I don't have Trench. I don't know if I get the same advantage of taking my Watt and armor off. Like, maybe, yes, I can put Watt with Dash Scoundrels to make Hondo a little bit harder to kill on defense, and I get a bonus there. I don't really know where I would end up using armor, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, if I had C, I would definitely run Bane, because I think that's a category 2 for sure. It's going to make the counters easier, but I don't think it gives you... I think for endgame players, it's going to go up to like a category 3.5. Like, you're going to get extra value out of your other backbone teams, and your Galactic Legend is going to pick up extra counters. But I think for people who are Kyber 3, Kyber 4, Kyber 5, somewhere in the Erodiums, you're going to make your counters that you're probably already fighting Malguses or Rays or JMLs or something like that. Maybe it increases your ability to kill JMK Jabba. Like, you're not going to be able to really fudge with a lot of stuff because of JMK. But I think with the Omicrons, the massive increase in ult charge, C gets his ult off really quickly. Let's say Cat goes after C, doesn't insta-kill Bane, which is just an RNG fest at that point. There's possibilities there. I think Jabba, maybe if you can blow him up before Jabba gets ult off and prevent Jabba from gaining ult charge, it's there. I don't think Leia is going to be... Someone actually on stream today was making a joke. They're like, once the Leia-Cron's gone, the Bane-Cron, holy shit, the Bane-Cron's going to fuck up Leia. And when the Leia-Cron's gone, or the Drogon-Cron is gone, that is definitely a possibility. But I would find it a little funky for their new, expensive, shiny toy to be beaten by a Conquest character that goes with one of the most common Galactic Legends that people have. So at the end of the day, I think Bane's going to be a category 2.5. I don't think he's going to be the huge value add for non-Giga Whales that people are really hoping. I think he's going to be a nice to have. I think he's going to equate to, call it 15 to 35 more efficiency banners per GAC, which is big for some people, but in some Bloodbath GACs is not really going to be a big deal. I think it's nice that he's got a lifter, a dedicated lifter that doesn't take away from other traditional teams, especially backbone teams. And all in all, I think he just looks cool. I love the spear. I know people are giving shit for the version of Bane that we got, but I like the spear. I think spears are cool. All right. Join the Patreon as always. Love you, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.